Hello and welcome to the Game Journal for February 2021. Yes, 21, not 20. Oh god, I can't believe I did that last time. Pretty short month this month, not too many games played, but some new stuff in terms of behind the scenes that you don't really care about. Let's get into it. Honeypot II. This is the true sequel to the game from 2015. In 2017, Honeycamp Studio came out, but that had a different art style, different gameplay mechanics, and lacked any sort of sexual content, so it wasn't really felt like a true sequel that people wanted. Unlike the first game, this game completely cuts down on the dating sim elements. It goes from 5 dates in the first game to now this one only 2 dates per couple. And each girl only has 4 pairs. This means that every girl can't be dated with every other girl, which is sad because the game took a pretty long time to develop, so you'd believe that being able to pair up all the girls together would be at least one of the things you can do, but unfortunately it isn't. The gameplay starts very simple to start with, but eventually starts getting very difficult as the game ramps on, to the point where it feels like the entire game's just decided by RNG. The batting system is very interesting at first, but becomes very annoying very quickly. It starts at first by just spicing up the gameplay a little bit by adding in new interesting ways to do dates, but eventually it ends up becoming extremely annoying and tedious to do. Like, to change up the way matches are scored, and some of them are really neat and interesting and spice up the game in interesting ways to make you more focused on dates instead of the game just being a slog of doing the same moves and strategies over and over again. However, most battles just negative traits, and they just make dates harder and harder on top of the already increasing difficulty. And this just makes it feel like talking to the girls to unlock their extra slots for date gifts just adds more baggage, just makes the game needlessly more difficult and unworth talking to them. Baddies also randomly pick each date, so that makes it so very difficult to plan dates ahead of time because you just don't know what you're going to get. It's just going to be a random choice of whether you get one that's easily manageable and somewhat fun, or one that's just a complete pain in the ass. The final boss of the game is very underwhelming. It's just hard versions of all the previous girls dated by in random pairs. It's been a really long time fighting them, and it was very difficult and annoying, and just felt like it came down to RNG about getting really good matches and good RNG, so you get move token drops so you can get enough moves to be able to survive the onslaught of the dates. The game also lacks any secret characters, unlike the first game, which had a couple of them, but it brings back the alpha mode and adds a new endless date mode, which is kind of neat. It also adds unlockable outfits after you beat the game, but they're not really that good, and it kind of feels weird that they only unlock these extra ones after you beat the game and not as more things you can unlock as you play through the game. I enjoy my tile fits. I just wish there was more features from the previous game. There's more content to it overall. It's a good game, but it's a disappointing sequel overall, I believe. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This was an extremely charming and fun platformer that had a steady difficulty curve to it that made it feel only as difficult as you want it to be as you play through the game. It features tons of different levels to play with multiple types of collectibles to get into levels. If you just want to finish the levels and beat the game for as little as possible, you can totally do that and get through the game pretty quickly. But if you want to collect everything in every level, you can spend a lot of time with it, but you'll get well rewarded for doing so. Bowser's Fury is a large open level with multiple stages contained within its multiple areas. Collecting in this mode feels very seamless and doesn't require leaving and returning to a level. However, stages do require you to leave them and come back to them in order to update to the next phase of them. And while seamless and large, the game just feels like a bunch of levels with clear beginnings and end to them that don't really benefit from this open level world design at all, aside from the ability to just quickly go from level to level seamlessly. If this is the future of Mario games, then I'm pretty excited for that, and I think it's a great idea. I just hope that the levels are better designed for open exploration and not just a bunch of linear stages slapped into a map. Guilty Gear Strive Beta. This is the most fun I've had of a fighting game in a decade. The game is very similar to other fighting games in terms of controls, but characters are extremely simplified compared to other fighting games in previous entries in the series. Instead of characters having a move list of like 100 plus moves, characters in Strive only have like a move list of 15 or so moves. Players are more to rely on basic fundamentals and mechanics of the game that all characters can use, while learning the quirks and abilities of their own character. This makes learning characters quick and entertaining, and learning the matches of other characters is extremely easy. The depth in the game comes from more of its mechanics such as the Roman cancels, instant blocks, faultless defense, instant faultless defense. These are features that most players won't really utilize, but learning will greatly increase their ability to play and open up new possibilities in terms of offense and defense. The lobby system is very interesting but really janky. The ring matchmaking is a tower with floors on it, and players fight to rank up in it. The final level is locked only to players who earn their way in, and they can be kicked out if they fail to be skilled enough to stay in. However, this is only something the top players will get to experience, while most players just pick their recommended floor and choose opponents to battle, and ranking up or down a floor and being able to go to lower floors or even higher floors however they wish. The netcode is amazing. Matches felt perfect no matter who I played against in my region. It's impossible to tell the difference between players with good or bad connections, and makes playing games with people around the world possible. Very excited to play more of this in the future, and it took my passing interest in fighting games and turning it into a straight up addiction. Rance Quest Magnum, the 8th entry in the legendary Aeroge RPG series. It's simple but enjoyable gameplay loop of forming parties and going out on quests. Sexual content is gained from leveling up girls to level 35, so grinding and swapping up party members is encouraged and rewarding. But the sexual content is varied in terms of taste and fetishes, which means leveling up some girls can feel like a waste if you're not into certain things. Some girls just don't have H scenes, which makes leveling up feel like a complete waste of time, aside from their basic uses as a party member. What's the point of leveling up my characters in an RPG if I don't get to have sex with them? But anyway, one of the best parts of a Rance game is seeing all your favorite characters return and trying to, bet them again and such. The humor in the game is pretty dark with lots of jokes about rape and death. It's really hard to recommend to people, but if you can put up with it, there's a lot to enjoy in this game. Gameplay features a turn-based combat system where characters have a list of skills you select in battle that have limited uses. If a character runs out of moves, they're pretty much useless until you finish or abandon the quest. Party members can be swapped out mid-quest and mid-battle, but you have limited swaps available. However, you do gain more swaps as you progress the game. Failing a quest doesn't result in a game over, however. You're just booted back to the main screen with all your experience retained, so failing a quest doesn't feel like a waste of time and doesn't really dictate reloading a save. It is a really simple but enjoyable RPG, but it's a great game compared to a lot of the trash fire of erotic games out there. And that is it for the month. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is out pretty late. I really struggled to try to get this together. I wanted to buy a new mic for the video, and I didn't get to like halfway for the month, and I kind of just struggled to just put everything together in the last half. My mic doesn't sound too good from last time, but I hadn't really messed the thing at all. I pretty much just got it and plugged it in. Noise reduction on it's really nice. So hopefully next month there'll be some nicer quality audio, even better than this. Hopefully I'll have the next month's video out shorter and not towards the end of the month. I know I said I have it closer towards the beginning last month. Hopefully I will mean that this time next month, but who knows. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to leave a comment or something that if you've got this far. Just lets me know you've interacted with the video and that some people are actually watching this far and everything like that. It means something to me.